These right here are some of my favorite books ever written. They're Robert Caro's magnum opus, The Years of Lyndon Johnson. It's a 5-part series well over 3,000 pages, which chronicles the life and career of American politician Lyndon Baines Johnson. Caro only wrote 2 other books. His mammoth biography of Robert Moses entitled The Power Broker, which is obligatory for all New Yorkers to have on their bookshelf, whether or not they've actually read it. And Working, a collection of essays about the process of writing his Moses and LBJ books. Don't read this one until you've read everything else though. He has essentially spent his entire career writing about just 2 men. And he spent the last 40 years researching and writing about just one of them, Lyndon Johnson. I honestly feel a little bit silly whenever I talk about these books because the experience of reading them is just sublime. You just know that you're in the hands of a master writer whenever you're reading them. They're riveting, they're painstakingly researched, they're entertaining, and they provide incredible insight into the profoundly complicated and fascinating character of Lyndon Johnson, but also American politics in general. Really, the only way I'm able to describe them is that they're my Harry Potter. Now, you may have noticed earlier that I said 5-part series, when there are only 4 books in front of you. You are correct, my friend. Robert Caro has only released 4 of the 5 books in this series so far. He has been working on book 5 for over a decade. As he says, truth takes time. But he has left some breadcrumbs about his progress along the way. The 4th installment, The Passage of Power, was released on May 1st, 2012, over 10 years ago. In 2011, Caro said that he had finished the outline for book 5 and that it would be out in 2 to 3 years. He even said that he already knew what the last sentence was going to be. Then in 2013, he stated that he was still working on the book. In 2014, he said that he was still hard at work on the book and was doing research. Okay, I thought that you were writing, but anyways. In 2017, he said that he had written 400 pages of the book and that he was going to move to Vietnam for research purposes. In 2018, still writing. 2018 again, he said that he's, quote, several years from finishing the book. In 2020, he said that he had typed 604 pages and reaffirmed that it was going to be a very long book, which, hey, we love to hear. Later in 2020, he said that his research trip to Vietnam had been canceled because of COVID. Then in October 2021, he told The New Yorker that he was still typing away and was currently working on the section about LBJ passing Medicare, which happened in 1965, and LBJ died in 1972, which means that he has 7 more years to write about. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit nervous. Robert Caro turns 87 later this year, and may he live forever, but I really, really want him to finish this book. It's his life's work, literally. In his book Working, he says that his books are his life. And when talking about how many more years of writing he has left, he himself candidly says, do the math. He has been working on the LBJ project for longer than I've been alive. Plus, I selfishly just really, really want to read it. Devouring these books has been one of the great reading experiences of my life. Lucky for me, there's an exhibit about Robert Caro that's up at the New York Historical Society, which contains snippets of his research, notes on the books, and other fascinating items from the Caro archives. The exhibit was really fascinating, but it got me no closer to finding out about book number 5. So I did what I think Robert Caro would do himself, and I researched. I contacted his publisher, but I couldn't get a hold of an actual human. So I went into the publisher's office, but they wouldn't let me up without an appointment. I called his publicist, who I did get a hold of, and he told me,
Mr. Caro is at work on volume 5 with limited interruption.
That's what we like to hear.
So I decided there's only one way for me to find out when this book is coming out. I'm gonna find Robert Caro himself. To research these books, Robert Caro and his wife moved down to the hill country of Texas, where LBJ is from, for 3 years. And I'm not going to say that my commitment to research is as great as his, but I did come to the Upper West Side, so I will be accepting my Pulitzer. Thank you very much. So in my crack investigative reporting, I've sort of ascertained where I think Robert Caro's office is. Look, he isn't the only one that can do research, okay? So I've analyzed articles and videos, and I found what I think are a few clues. 1, it's in the Upper West Side. 2, it's close to Central Park. 3, there's a window that overlooks Central Park. And 4, I think that there's a window that overlooks an alley that's across from a red brick building. We are on the lookout for an 86-year-old man in a suit. That's not him. That's just another old guy. This kind of looks like it right there. I mean, it kind of checks all the boxes. It's got the alley with the red brick building across. It's on the Upper West Side, and it's across the street from Central Park. Honestly, I feel like this might be it. I did not think all the way through what I would do if I actually found it, and now that I might have, I feel like a creep. So I am going to run away now. Look, a 4-part series of books that's about a foot thick is a pretty tough sell, I get it. But I honestly don't think you should let that deter you from giving it a try. Robert Caro devoted the better part of his career to delving into the life of LBJ. And in the process, I think he told a bigger story. He not only told the story of a fascinating politician and gave a behind-the-scenes look at how power works in Washington, but by undertaking this project, he told a story about passion and dedication to your craft. In the exhibit, there was a note from his desk that he had written to himself that said, "Is there desperation on this page?" To me, that really sums up the immediacy and passion that Caro poured into this. I mean, how many artists do you know that devote over 40 years to one project? They shot Boyhood over the course of 10 years and everybody freaked out, but it's like, come on guys, have you ever heard of Robert Caro? And I mean, I get bored with stuff after like 2 weeks. I think it's not only a really great series of books, but one of the most monumental artistic undertakings ever? And to me, that's the real story. One man sitting alone in an office somewhere, diligently working on a project for years and years and years. Thank you for watching this video and for following me down this bizarre rabbit hole. Do you have any biographies that you've read that have been life-changing? If so, I'd love to hear about them, so please leave them down in the comments below.